Cambio de decir, él me encanta, yo lo quiero, pues dímelo a mí.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Upside Down Adventurer. So last we left off, I was 18 and I just left my parents' nest to go to university in Wales, Cardiff, to complete a degree in tourism and hospitality management. After 4 years in the UK, quite like my parents, I also knew that my destiny was not meant for me in the UK. So I had to figure out what was my ticket to get out of there. So 1 year in university, I got hooked up by my brother Owen to have an internship in a dive center in a remote island called Mafia in East Africa, Tanzania. Shout out to my managers, David and Danny. After that, I became a fully fledged scuba dive master. So I've just finished uni and I have no idea how to get out of the UK and doing what. But with the dive master under my belt, I started thinking that maybe that could be my ticket out of there. So I found this cool opportunity in the south of Italy to do an internship where I worked for a few months, and at the end, they would pay my diving instructors. And that was 7 long years ago, and it was where I met my partner, Rami.
That's me.
And she became my travel and adventure buddy for all the years to come.
Our adventure started in Italy, and then we retraced my roots by going back to East Africa. And since then, this is a look at some of the places that we've lived and worked for at least 6 months.
So as you can see, we've actually lived in quite a few spots, and that map doesn't even include any of our holiday time. But I'd like to set the record straight. We're not one of those couples that had this massive budget behind us to be able to travel anywhere we like. We actually worked hard in every place that we went. We're not one of those Instagram couples that are telling you how to travel the world, the social media influencers. We were just following whatever life had in store for us. Everywhere we've been, we've integrated into the culture and had a huge respect for all the amazing aquatic lifestyle that we were able to see.
And so, my first destination after becoming a scuba instructor was back to East Africa. We worked for East Africa Dive Center for a few months in the beautiful town of Nungwi in northern Zanzibar, which had the most amazing beaches. This is our own actual footage of seeing dolphins underwater. We've been incredibly lucky to see some awesome marine creatures over our time underwater. And of course in East Africa, you can't miss out on the national parks. So here we went on safari. After finishing work in Zanzibar, next stop for us was to work in the Adventure Club in Koh Phi Phi, Thailand. The reason that I'm so close to this leopard shark is actually because I found a hook in its gills that I was able to remove, which was one of the most memorable experiences I've had underwater. And it wouldn't be Thailand without doing some partying. After working a few months in Koh Phi Phi, our next stop was in the Maldives, in a beautiful 4-star resort called Kuramati Island. The Maldives boasts some incredible underwater wildlife, and it's famous for being one of the top diving spots in the world. Here in the Maldives, I was able to share my passion with my own parents and introduce them to the underwater world.
So there was a look at the first few years from when I first got my foot in the diving industry in Italy up until when I worked in the Maldives in about the summer of 2015, where we'd worked in the diving world for 3 years non-stop, and then we decided to give it a little break. And so in the next episode, I'll let you know what we got up to in the next years. And as for now, things are pretty much the same out here in Sardinia. The lockdowns have tightened, so there's not much to do. So the knee recovery is going pretty good. I'm now a professional stationary biker. And there's plenty of time to hit the gym. So thanks for tuning in into this episode, and see you next time on The Upside Down Adventurer!